If you ever wanted to feel like Maverick from Top Gun, there's always been a game series that fails to live this down, and with Ace Combat 8 due to release some point this year, I thought now was a good time to jump back into the latest version of Ace Combat and see if it's as good as I remember, and if it still holds up today. Now honestly, after going back and playing Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown for the first time in years, I can comfortably say it's one of the best games, even years after release, that still feels incredibly impressive to play. Today I want to talk about the story, the gameplay, the graphics, and the amount of content, and why I genuinely think this might be one of the best Ace Combat games ever made, and also why it's an absolute bargain nowadays, especially when it goes into sale. So what is Ace Combat 7? If you've never played an Ace Combat game before, it's essentially an arcade flight combat game, but with way more depth than you'd expect. You're not playing a realistic flight simulator like Microsoft Flight Sim. This is about high-speed dogfights, insane maneuvers, cinematic missions, massive battles, and fighting against ridiculous odds. You play as Trigger, a pilot caught up between a massive war of two nations, and pretty quickly you go from regular soldier to a prisoner, and then becoming an absolute legend in the skies. So let's talk about the story, because Ace Combat stories are always an experience. Is it cheesy? Oh yeah. Is the dialogue dramatic? Absolutely. Are characters constantly monologuing about borders, freedom, and the meaning of war while you're doing barrel rolls at Mach 2? 100%. But here's the thing, that's all part of the charm. The Ace Combat series has always leaned into the over-the-top, anime-level military drama, and Ace Combat 7 doesn't differ. You've got political conspiracies, misunderstood heroes, emotional sacrifices, and tons of speeches happening over the radio mid-mission. And weirdly, it works. It gives the missions weight. You start to care about what's happening, about the squad, about the world. You're not just shooting planes, you feel like you're part of an ongoing conflict. The constant radio talk of how your teammates are shooting down aircraft all adds to the immersion that you're a pilot in a massive war full of dogfights. It's not subtle storytelling, but it's memorable storytelling. Now, the gameplay is where Ace Combat 7 absolutely shines. Yes, it's an arcade-style flight game. You're not managing fuel mixtures or adjusting flaps manually, but that doesn't mean it's not shallow. The controls feel tight, responsive and smooth, dogfighting feels intense. Missile management matters, positioning matters, speed control matters. You're constantly thinking when to go aggressive, when to break off, how to approach targets and what weapons to bring to missions. And speaking of missions, this is where the game throws a load of different types at you. You've got large scale air battles, ground attack missions, escort missions, stealth style missions, boss fights against absurdly powerful enemy aces that are incredibly hard to track, missions with weather effects that actively change how you fly, and here's the thing, there's that many aircraft there that you can choose one that specifically fits that mission and style of how you need to play it. And some missions are genuinely difficult, and in the best way possible, the kind where you fail, restart, change your strategy, change your loadout, and slowly get better. That's what makes it so satisfying. It rewards skill, not just button mashing. Autosaves are also fairly hard to come by. If you make a mistake near the end of a mission, you'll have to play it all over again. And I don't mind that, as it's a throwback to games and how they used to work, meaning mistakes have big consequences and you have to master the mission. But overall gameplay wise, this is easily one of the strongest Ace Combat entries ever. Now, one thing I love about this game is that it doesn't just feel like the same mission copy and pasted 20 times. The levels and terrain are all interesting and different, and overall look great from the skies. Yes, some detail is lost the closer you get to the ground, and that's expected for a game that's almost 7 years old now. But most of the time you're not going to be looking at the ground, you're going to be looking at what's around you in the skies, whether you're looking from a cockpit view or the third person view. It all looks incredible. Some missions are pure chaos, dozens of aircraft in the sky, others are slower and more tactical. Some punish you for being too aggressive, and punish you for being too passive. Where with time limits and score limits set in place for some missions, it means you're at a race against the time to complete them. There are moments where the game genuinely tests your patience and skill, especially on higher difficulties, but instead of feeling unfair, it usually feels like the game saying, learn the mechanics better, and that's incredibly rewarding. Now, for a game that came out in 2019, Ace Combat 7 is still looking fantastic. The clouds alone deserve praise. Flying through dense cloud cover, watching missiles disappear into the fog, seeing lightning flashes around you, it's cinematic as hell. Lighting, explosions, aircraft detail, weather effects, afterburners, contrails, it all still holds up incredibly well. This is one of those games where you'll still randomly stop mid-mission and think, yeah, this looks cool as hell. There's also a surprising amount of content here. You've got loads of aircraft to unlock. You're not going to unlock them all through one playthrough, so multiple playthroughs are kind of the norm. You've got aircraft such as classic fighters to advanced experimental planes. Each one handles slightly different, has different stats, different strengths, different special weapons, so it all makes playthroughs unique. And unlocking them actually feels rewarding because the progression system encourages you to replay missions, earn more currency, and experiment with different planes and loadouts. If you're the type of player who likes grinding out unlocks, mastering missions, and building the ultimate hangar, this game absolutely delivers on that. In terms of length, your first playthrough is probably going to take around 15 to 20 hours depending on the difficulty. But that's just the start, because once you finish the campaign, you're encouraged to, like I said before, replay missions on higher difficulties, unlock better aircraft, perfect your performance, go for higher ranks in missions, try different playstyles, whether that's bringing a different jet, where you'd normally go for a multi-purpose jet, you go for a specific ground fighting jet for certain missions. And there's even a multiplayer mode with Battle Royale, which even still gets full today. Replayability is a massive part of Ace Combat's appeal, a game that you'll find yourself putting down for a while but have an itch to come back and play it from time to time. There's not many games out there like this, meaning that you're probably going to keep jumping on this game, for even when it's years later, just like I have today. Now as for price, I think I managed to pick this up in sales for around £10, and that included quite a few different things, a couple additional content, mainly skins for planes, but if you're going to play it full price, it's about £40. However, this game is always in some form of sale, and if you're not buying it on Steam, you can pick it up for console really cheap second hand. And honestly, for the price it goes for nowadays, this is honestly one of the best value games out there, that if you enjoy action games, aircraft, or just want to try something different from the usual shooter formulas, it's an absolute no-brainer to pick up. You will not be disappointed with this. Overall, Ace Combat 7 is a great game. It's got fantastic gameplay, strong mission design, cheesy but enjoyable story, excellent visuals, loads of content, plenty of challenge, and it's fantastic value for money. Ace Combat 7 isn't just a good arcade flight game, it's genuinely a great game. If I'm being honest, I'd say one of the strongest entries to the series and absolutely worth playing, even if you've not touched an Ace Combat before. If I had to give it a rating, it's easily a solid 8 out of 10, if not potentially more. And with Ace Combat 8 on the horizon, I can only imagine this game getting better and better. Like I say, it's always improved every one that's come out of the series, and it's only seemed to get better and better, so I can imagine the same for Ace Combat 8. I can't wait to see what the visuals look like. Like I said, this is a 7-year-old game now, so this looks good. I can't wait to see how good it would look on a new engine or whatever they've got to offer in store. And imagine all the planes as well that they're going to be able to chuck in there. Be interested to see what they do with that. So yeah, really looking forward to Ace Combat 8. So if you've played Ace Combat 7, let me know what you thought. What's your favourite mission, your favourite aircraft, and if you enjoyed this review, please leave a like, subscribe and for more content, and I'll see you on the next one.